Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is LaJoe Anderson, Joe for short. For those who don't know, I actually left DC and moved to New York over the course of the year. So the reason I'm making this video is because a lot of people have been asking me all of these questions about my transition, whether it's how much to save, how much, like what do I like to do? It's just so many questions. And guess what? Today, I'm answering all your questions through my video, through my channel, because I've been abandoning my channel and it's just, so much that I have to say. So I'll be giving you a story time so you can just understand in depth my personal experience with moving out of DC and why I actually left DC. So if you want to know exactly why I left DC and what I do in New York now and just everything in between, continue watching this video. So the real reason I left DC was because I felt stumped. And when I say stumped, I mean I felt like I was doing the same routine over and over every day. It was just becoming a place where I feel like DC is specifically a place for my childhood. Like personally, I feel like DC wasn't allowing me to be, well, I wasn't allowing myself in DC to be the adult that I wanted to be. When I say that, I mean, the routine that I created or the life I created for myself in DC wasn't going to help me become the adult that I am today, right now, or the adult that I wanted to be or planned to be. So, yeah, so living in DC, I would just go to work or go to school. And then after that, I would go directly around my neighborhood, which wasn't a good neighborhood, I guess. So, that was pretty much my life every day. I went outside, hang with my friends, hang with my family, with whatever that, I feel like everybody in DC would know. Growing up in DC, I feel like you're in the same clique, you're in the same routine every day. And I feel like to be the person I wanted to be today, I had to remove myself. I needed new friends, I needed new experiences, I needed new business ventures. I wanted to start a business. I just wanted to do so much. So that routine that I was going through in DC wouldn't allow me to explore more of my creativity, grow my business, start my business at that, because it costs so much to get started as a business in DC as well as keeping it going. So it was just so much in DC like going on that I just realized in the middle of college it was a wrap for me. I didn't know where I was going to go. I didn't know how much to save. I didn't know anything. So I just knew that I had a background of traveling, which I've been traveling since I was 5 years old. I'm very spontaneous, so it already gave me a sense of adventure and a sense of what life would be outside of DC. But I just took a leap of faith and just decided to just go, because I knew I needed to leave, but I just didn't know when, where, how it was going to happen or anything like that. So yeah, so in college, I would say I actually went to school, Virginia State University, which is south of Richmond. South of Richmond in Petersburg, Virginia, which is like a really small, old historical town. It's not much going on down there, but like family activity or, college activity. So I feel like being from DC and going to Virginia State was like it gave me like a balance. So I had a balance of a small town life for, a whole 4 years. And then I had the other side, which I could survive in both. Like, I could survive in a medium-sized city or a small city, and I could survive in a small town. So I feel like it gave me a lot of versatility. So I knew wherever I moved, I was going to be good because, I had both. I can do both, I guess. I could find something to do in both environments. So in college, I knew I wanted to start a business, which I won't go further into detail about because that will be my next video. So yeah. So yeah, in college, I wanted to start a business. I tried to, work on finding my creative space on the weekends or the times that I didn't have to study or something like that. So I did need to expand that. That was a major thing with me because I actually went to high school for drawing, which a lot of people didn't know. I went to Duke Ellington, which was like a school known for like the weird artsy people, which was me. That's the other side of me. Like, I can be, I don't know. I just have a good balance, and it's a good variety that I have inside of me. The creative side, the hood side. If I want to get ratchet, I could be the turn up friend. I could be the friend that you can go to the art galleries with. I could be the friend that you go on your bougie brunches, like anything. So I'm very versatile, adventurous or whatever. So yeah, college, that was what I did on my free time, and as well as looking for jobs. Now, looking for jobs in college, I looked every day, like every single day. I knew I needed to, come home from college, graduate, and have something that's in my field, or have a career that's in my field, or internship, or something that will put me into place to get out of DC. So yeah, so I ended up graduating. I landed an internship. I landed an internship in New York, which was in White Plains. So that's directly on the outside of the Bronx. So yeah, living in White Plains, it was pretty much, I think White Plains is beautiful. A lot of people just, okay, you're not in the city. What a lot of people don't know is New York is not just New York City. It's Syracuse. First of all, the whole span of New York is huge. It's probably like, I feel like it's probably like 8 hours to drive from the bottom of New York to the top. Like, it's not just New York City, and I think a lot of people get that confused. But yeah, so I landed a job I landed an internship in the outside of New York City. So, that still gave me my small town vibe, but it wasn't historical. It was more like higher classes. Stuff cost way more. So I was living in a hotel, and for which was, I think it was good. Like, it wasn't, something, it was an experience. That's what it was. It was an experience. So, living in a hotel for like a whole summer, it was just so crazy to me. And every time, I would always have family coming up on the weekends. Like, it was just so nice. And I had the pool, so it was like basically, I think for me, it was getting a feel of what it would be like living outside of the city. And of course, I always on the weekends went to the city just to, go to Harlem, Queens, Bronx, all the boroughs. Actually, the only borough I haven't been to would be, I don't think I know I've been to the Bronx. I haven't got the full experience of Brooklyn. That would be it. Yeah, I don't think I got the full experience of Brooklyn, but maybe I'll do that now. Then the internship finished and I was back in DC. So back in DC, I'm back to square one, looking for jobs. I asked myself, like, did I want to move back to New York? Like, is New York where I see myself? And, I did go to a lot of the art galleries. I did look into like starting a business in New York. I started sketching my drawings for my business. And the business I have right now is called I Just Landed. shopijl.com, which is IJL is what I Just Landed. I provide like travel wear, resort wear for women who love to travel like myself. So if you want to check that out, here's the link below. I'll put the link below in the bio. But yeah, so I was back to square one. Didn't have a job, applying to jobs every day. But still in the midst, I continued my DC routine, which was going to work, going outside, and being in that routine that wouldn't allow me to, get ahead in life. It was just me going outside, hanging with my friends. How is that going to help me, with my business ventures? How is that going to help me with, I want to get into real estate one day? That's not going to help me do anything. So it's like, of course I sat down and talked to myself. I'm a very self-motivated person. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just find a balance. I'll find a balance between, staying outside and, just being in the midst of, first of all, if you're from DC, You do not need to be in your neighborhood after you done graduated college. I feel like that's anywhere in America, just growing up in a city. You do not need to be, you need to remove yourself from all the stuff that goes on negatively in your neighborhood. Yeah, the job that I landed was more so IT related. So it was IT related. I didn't, know much about IT because a lot of people have this thing that they think computer engineering is IT. First of all, no. It's totally two different things. They're both in the technology field, but not specifically the same thing. Of course, me realizing, okay, this isn't the job for me. I started applying to more jobs outside of DC. Now, I applied to jobs in Florida, back in New York, which I knew I didn't want to be at. I didn't know why I didn't want to be in New York, but I just knew New York didn't have that kick for me. But maybe it was just because my whole summer I was in my head like, okay, this is not forever. Like, I'm not going to live here. This is just for the summertime. And, I kind of kept that in my head. So I didn't allow myself to get a deeper feel for how life could possibly be if I moved to New York. So yeah, I was applying to Florida, New York, Atlanta, LA, North Carolina, and Charlotte. Like, I'm a very spontaneous person, so I already been to half of these places. So I already been to half of these places. I already knew what time it was with all of this. So yeah, I just decided to apply. I ended up landing an interview in Atlanta for, what was the job for? It was in my field, but it was through like UPS or something like that. But I didn't get the job. And so I just continued to do my job at, the IT company. So this is when my life changed forever. I don't even know if New York is forever, but this is when my life completely changed for myself. So I was at my job. It's just so funny because I'm like about to cry because it's just so like near and dear. Anyway, so I was at my IT job on my email. So I'm scrolling, got into work that morning. So I get into work, scrolling through my email, and I see this email that says, "Congratulations, sign your offer." So of course I'm at my desk. Everybody's like, it's really quiet, and more so in IT places, everybody, it's so not social. It's like everybody's just typing. It's not a lot of conversation going on. Everybody's just doing their own thing on their computer. And yeah, so it was just crazy to me. So I looked at the email. The email said, "Congratulations, sign your offer." I started to like panic. And of course I can't show it because, I'm new. I don't want people to know that, what's going on. So the crazy thing about it, my mother worked downstairs. I started like, cause I was so over, just living in DC. I was over so much stuff that was going on in my life, and the standstill that my life was in. I was just so overwhelmed with joy once I seen it, cause I knew I didn't know where the job would take me, but I just knew the job was going to take me out of DC, So I ran downstairs to my mother, and I was like, "Mom, I couldn't get the words out. I'm bawling tears. I just started boo-hooing in her office, and like I had to close the door because I didn't want her like coworkers to, know what was going on or anything like that. So I'm like, I'm bawling tears, can't get my words out, and it was just so crazy. My mother, mothers go in that protective mode, so she was like, "What is wrong?" Like going off and stuff. "Did they do something to you upstairs?" I'm going up there, all this stuff. And I'm just like, all right, I'm in my head like, I have so many tears of joy, but I gotta stop her. I gotta keep her. I gotta let her know that there's nothing wrong with me, but I had to show her the reason I was crying. So I ended up telling her, open your Gmail so I can log into my account. I said, "I got a job." And she looking at me like, "Girl, you just gave me a heart attack. Why would you do that?" I'm just like, I didn't know. Like, I was just so filled with so many emotions. It was just like, I didn't know what to do but to cry tears of joy. So yeah. So anyways, I just cried tears. It just brings back so many memories because this was exactly last year. So yeah, it's just amazing how your life can change in a matter of seconds. Like, I know a lot of people say that, but you don't realize, like, okay, I could be here today and I could be in a whole nother place, starting a whole nother life somewhere else. So anyways, fast forward, you know, I got the job, I signed my offer, and the job was, guess what, in New York. Of course, you already knew that because of the title of the title of the video. While I was still working at the IT job, I actually started looking for apartments because I knew I was moving within the next 2 weeks, you know. So I started looking at all these apartments. It was barely any that, you know, held my interest. I needed an apartment that was modern, had a lot of, you know, I needed a view. I don't know why I needed a view, but I can't face a tree. Like, if I gotta just stare at a tree out of my window, that's probably not for me, you know. So I know I needed a view. I needed a washer and dryer inside of my unit. Like, I just knew everything had to be modern, and I didn't want it to be like an apartment as if I lived in a city. You know how the city apartments are like small and tiny, da 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 da. I just knew I didn't want to have anything small. But if that's what it had to come with, then I would have just been in a small apartment. But the fact that I feel like living outside of the city, you get more bang for your buck, it was good with me. I actually moved to New York with $2,000 in my account because I never really had like a real job. I always had summer jobs, those little jobs where you work. Actually, sidebar, I worked at this job in Georgetown in DC, and I worked there for 2 days, and I said, you know what, this is not the job for me, and I never went back. I never called it back. I never even answered the phone for those people. I didn't even pick up my check from training. So I just knew I was not going back down there. And now every time I go to Georgetown, I try to like duck the store because I'm like, dang, what if the people that work there, you know, notice me or something like that? Which they probably won't because it was so long ago. But anyways, that was a sidebar. What a lot of people don't know, this was I think the first 8 months of, the first 8 months of my journey up here was crazy. I'm gonna tell you why. I lived in an Airbnb for 8 months. You know, I rented out, and of course it was cheaper than living in an apartment, so I was still saving money. So of course I'm like, okay, I don't even want to live in this Airbnb. It's just creepy. I don't even know where I am, for real. I just know, you know, this is I have to live here because my apartment wasn't ready. The apartment that I wanted to move in is my dream apartment. I couldn't move into it because the construction wasn't done yet. So I'm living in the Airbnb, you know, still learning my way around the city. Living in the Airbnb, still learning my way around the city. House hunting, apartment hunting still. But it was nowhere that caught my attention like my apartment that I had already, like, you know, put the deposit down for. So yeah. So working at my new job, you know, I met new people. I've been going to events in New York City, as well as events up here. And this is more outdoorsy. It's more like hiking. I live next to a farm, a winery. It's just so many outdoor activities that you can do up here, which I appreciate, because if I don't want to go to the city, I can go biking. Like, I can do anything. It's like a whole new world for me, which is what I needed. And it's a place where I can focus, which is exactly what I needed and what I needed to be from DC. And it also has the art aspect as well. So being up here, you know, living in the Airbnb, I started my business. I ran my business out of the Airbnb for about, for about 3 months, because I didn't start my business up until May. So yeah, I started the business. I started listening to like webinars and stuff for real estate. So it's like I moved and I actually started doing the things that I knew I wanted to do, but I wasn't able to do in DC. So as soon as I came up to New York, I hit the ground running. The only thing that's the bad part about it was me living in the Airbnb. started the business, doing webinars, listening to webinars for real estate, going to the art galleries, you know, learning my way around, meeting new people. So everything that I wanted to do that DC wouldn't allow me to do, I was doing here off the jump. Like, you know, I was saving money and I was traveling with the rest of the money that, you know, that I had. So I ended up going to, I'm gonna tell y'all all the places I went to. I ended up going to Iceland. I went to Dubai. I went to Iceland, Dubai, Cancun for my birthday, which is in May. I went to Tennessee, I went to Atlanta, and I went to Toronto. So the whole time I'm in this Airbnb, drained, I'm still making sure I'm motivated. I'm still making sure, you know, I'm speaking things into existence. I'm trying to get my apartment off my mind, you know, the fact that I haven't moved yet. Like, I'm living in a whole different city and I pretty much don't have a house or a place to call my own or anything like that. Well, but yeah, so right now I'm still putting like the finishing touches. Like you see, I don't have anything on above my couch. I'm getting that done today. So my next video will be the apartment tour. So now I'll go into you guys' questions that you asked me on Instagram. I'm going to give you my advice from my experience, so answers from my experiences. So this doesn't apply to, you know, everything, I guess. Somebody asked me how much did I save. I already said that before. I saved $2K to move. However, that was not the best thing to do. I would say you should save at least $10K. If you could save $10K, I'm saying $10K as far as, you know, you don't have any furniture, you haven't owned a place ever in your life. I would say $10K would be the best for that. Like, you know, you'll be able to move into your place comfortably, have your first month rent, your, you know, your deposit. You'll be able to have all of your furniture that you want, hopefully, unless you pick up some furniture that's like for a mansion or something, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I would say 10K is more like a comfortable amount that I would say you should move with, because even when I was staying in the Airbnb, I was still saving my money, making sure that I had, you know, enough to move into my apartment comfortably, which I did. So I was very grateful for that. So I would say save 10K. Somebody asked me, how did I pick an apartment? I picked an apartment because, well, I picked this apartment. I needed a swimming pool, first of all. My business allows me, I need a swimming pool. My business has to do with resort wear, traveling, so I knew it had to be modern. I needed a swimming pool. I needed a gym to stay fit. You know, I have that. You know, I needed a view. I have that. So you guys are going to see that in my next video. My apartment is like the best place ever. It's so near and dear to my heart. It's just like, oh my gosh. So yeah, so I picked an apartment based on all of the qualities that I wanted inside my apartment, the neighborhood, the area, everything. So is the cost of living high like people say? Yes. I'm just gonna say, believe what you know how they say don't believe what you hear. When people say stuff about the cost of living, just know it is not a game. It's not a game out here. New York cost. How is dating in New York? I think it's at a standstill right now. I have talked to somebody before. That didn't work out because we have two different life schedules. So, you know, he does his own thing. I do my own thing. I guess that's it. I don't know. We just couldn't get it to work out. So dating in New York right now is like at a standstill. But, you know, I use my time to work on my business. Like, I'm here to, you know, I didn't move to find another person. I didn't move to find a boyfriend. So I'm just using this time to focus on myself, get myself ahead. And after I get to a point where where I feel like I need to be, then I'll work on, you know, finding a boyfriend, I guess. I don't know. Would you ever move back? I feel like if I ever move back to DC, it wouldn't be anytime soon. Eventually, I would want to move to, Miami. I want to live in LA for a year. I want to live in Atlanta for a year. I want to live in Raleigh for a year, or Charlotte for a year. Like, I don't think New York right now is the last for me. Like, it's obviously not. I'm too adventurous. I'm very spontaneous. Eventually, I'll see how hopefully I can grow my business to, actually let me not say hopefully, I will grow my business to be able to move to these places and not have to answer to anybody, because I'll be my own boss. But yeah, I do want to experience life outside of New York. That includes my video, my story time. Thank you guys so much. I know the New York one is, you know, the New York aspect is more condensed, I guess, but you know, I'm still figuring it out. I'm still learning my way. I'm still learning everything, the do's, the don'ts. I don't have any don'ts right now other than make sure you have a place to stay and some money saved up. Everything right now is great. So yeah, until next time, I will see you guys in my next video. Make sure you guys subscribe and like the video. I will be trying to drop a video every week, so be on the lookout for the one next week. But I just want to say thank you guys, and I love you so much. Bye.